Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jordan and today I'm going to be going through all the books that I read in June, July, and August, as well as going over the books that I plan to read in September. So in total, I managed to read 19 books over the summer, which honestly, I'm kind of surprised that I was able to read that much. I don't really consider myself a super fast reader, but when I'm in that kind of groove, I guess I managed to read a lot. So because there are so many books on this list, I'm going to jump right into it. Alright, so first up we've got Moriarty the Patriot. I managed to read volumes 1 through 4. This is a newer manga series that I absolutely fell in love with. I love Sherlock Holmes. I love the books, the movies, the show. So this was really interesting because it flip-flops between Moriarty's view and Sherlock's view. So I kind of like books that give you the villain's story because then it kind of helps explain their motivations for why they do the things that they do. Alright, and then next up we have Blue Period. I read volumes 1 through 4. So this is a newer series as well, and it really made me fall back in love with art. Back when I was in high school, I took a bunch of art classes. I was in AP art, and I kind of lost that a little bit once I got into college. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do art or do something else. So this definitely made me fall back in love with art, and I've been practicing a lot over the summer. Alright, and then next we have Monster. This also was a really great series. The first one drew me in so much. The second one was kind of a little bit lackluster, but I think this is definitely going to be a series that is more of like a slow burn. So I'm excited to see what is going to happen next. Alright, and then next we have volume 1 of Black Torch. Wasn't really my favorite. It was okay. I'm going to continue with the rest of the series because it's not that long. It's only 5 volumes. Hopefully it picks up a little bit more towards the end. Alright, and then next we have volume 1 of Mashle, Magic, and Muscles. I thought this book was so funny. This is kind of poking fun at Harry Potter, which, like, I'm a big Harry Potter nerd, so I thought this was hilarious, and this is a new series as well. I believe the second volume is coming out soon, which I'm definitely going to pick up because I think this is going to be a really good series. Alright, and then the last manga that I have is volume 20 of the Promised Neverland. It's the last volume of the series. This was such a good series. This was the first manga that I ever read, and getting to this final volume and seeing like the whole journey of these kids, really, it was just so like bittersweet, and I love it, and it made me want to go reread the whole series again. Okay, so moving on to actual novels I managed to get through. The first one we have is Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. I know so many people love this book, so I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but it was okay for me. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't like life-changing, but I thought there were definitely some important lessons in here and just like general life advice. Honestly, this book was really sad, and this guy is really unlucky because a lot of the people that he knows end up dying, and I kind of just felt really bad. Like, this was not really a cheerful book, but it was okay, and I definitely want to read more Murakami, like to see like what his other books are all about. Alright, so the next book I have is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, and I loved this book so much. It was so whimsical and just like bittersweet, and I fell in love with all the characters, and it gave me like I don't know, it just gave me a warm fuzzy feeling when I was reading it, and it's just so sweet. Like I almost cried like when I got to the end. So I would definitely recommend this one. I know a lot of people love this one, and I couldn't agree more. Alright, then we have The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, and this was one that I wanted to get to for a while. I like dystopian stories, so I felt like it was only right to check this one off of my list to read, and this one is just so... I have mixed feelings about it. I feel like it's an important read, but at the same time, the things that happen in this book are so disgusting and just not right. I think it's definitely a good example of like a cautionary tale, like to not end up at this point. So this one was pretty good. Alright, so the next one that we have is A Deal with the Elf King by Elise Kova. And typically I'm not a person that gravitates towards like romance novels. It's just not my thing. But something about this book just, I really enjoyed it. I loved the enemies to lovers trope. I loved the way the characters developed throughout the course of the novel, and throwing the romance in there, I mean, it was just a fun read. Right, and then the next one that we have is Coraline by Neil Gaiman. I regret not reading this as a child so much because I absolutely fell in love with this story. It's not that long. I breezed through it so quick. I kind of had mixed feelings going into this because I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, but honestly, the book makes up for it like so much. I love the journey that she goes on and realizing more about herself. And finally, we have The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. This was my March book of the month pick, and I only got around to it now. I kind of have like mixed feelings on it, like a couple of the other ones that I mentioned. I feel like I enjoyed the older character in this one as opposed to like the modern character. There was just something about the historical timeline that I thought was a lot more interesting than the modern timeline, so this one was okay. I also thought there was gonna kind of be a little bit more like, I don't know, maybe like magic or like fantasy elements in it, but I was wrong, and that's not anything against the author. That's just like my personal not knowing that it wasn't going to be like that. So I still think it's a really good read. Alright, so those were all the books that I managed to read over the summer. And in September, I plan on rereading the entire Harry Potter series. So regardless of JK and all the drama surrounding her and controversies and whatnot, I absolutely love this series. This series reminds me of my childhood, and I feel like it's the perfect way to transition from summer into fall. It just has the right vibes to it. I already managed to finish the first one, so I'm actually on Chamber of Secrets right now. I'm not that far in, but I haven't decided if I want to vlog rereading it or not. I'm kind of like, since I already started, I feel like kind of like defeats the purpose a little bit, but we'll see. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you like what you see, I hope you consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.
You can laugh or something.
I know, because it honestly is probably gonna go in the video anyway, but can you see all of them?
Yep.
You got the whole thing?
Yeah.
I'm very scared.
More up.
I'm frightened.
More up, more up. More up.
Okay, I'm trying. I'm not that strong.